Welcome back, everyone. We are back. The United Students Podcast, and things are already funny. All right, so we gotta light this candle. It doesn't really count until this candle's lit. So
yeah.
Gotta set the scene.
Oh my goodness,
So sad.
the third one.
Oh my goodness.
We just gotta have a fourth one. The fourth one's a charm. All right. I guess that's a now.
I would say we'll fix it in post, but I know this is definitely ending up.
Oh yeah.
Don't try this at home.
Yeah. Be safe. Oh, did you finally get it?
I did.
You got it? Yes.
Oh.
He blew it out.
I think the candle's dead.
All right.
Okay, so we're giving up on the
We're
candle.
giving up on the candle.
We're giving up on
Yes.
the candle. You know, it's fine. The whole episode's ruined, honestly.
Usually that brings the ambience, but you know.
Yeah, you know, it's
ambiance,
fine.
Whatever.
Now the room's smoky and the
Yeah.
fire alarms are about to go off. So, you know, it's all good. The building's going to burn down. All good. Everything's fine. So today I got, actually, this is actually the first week that we actually have students on the podcast, which is great. Well, students for now. But, yeah, golf claps. Those aren't going to, or claps. Those are snaps, not claps. So good job. You know, this is your fearless leader right here. Yeah, so you guys are actually the first students, which I feel is fitting. I feel like it's fitting that y'all are the first students because, you know, you guys are about to graduate, right?
Yeah.
So 13 days, you said before we
Yep,
started, right?
13
And do you know how
days.
many?
15 school days, 17 in total.
Okay, made that really confusing. 15 days left. So, yeah, but you guys are about to graduate, but you guys are actually the first students on. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's poetic, though, because you guys are the ones
Yeah,
who have been
for real.
around forever and are involved in all of the different things, and so we're gonna have a good time and just pray for Dylan over here. All right, he's going through it. He's struggling.
He's excited though.
He's excited, but we left him with no chair. So so now he's just got no chair over here. It's fine. We'll fix it in
He'll
post.
just
Probably
join
not.
the podcast. It's fine.
Yeah. So look, I don't know.
I'm so excited.
So excited. So it's gonna be great. But yeah, so y'all got 15 days left. Well, 13 and 15 days. You don't got much time left. You got like 3 weeks
Yeah.
in total.
Yep.
And then what are you guys gonna do when you're done? What are you guys doing?
Well, for college, we're both doing.
No, we're not worried about that right now.
Oh, we're not worried
Don't-
about
yeah,
that.
no.
Oh,
But
okay.
listen, you guys are both doing SEU though,
For
right?
summertime, I got a cruise planned,
Wow.
and
For the whole summer?
not the whole
Nice.
summer.
That'd be
but,
crazy.
That'd
like,
be crazy.
after graduation, my it's like my senior trip,
Mm-hmm.
and then got UU, got
Okay.
interning,
you interning
working
this summer?
and hanging out at the beach. You gotta,
Yeah.
have beach time
Yeah.
You a beach
in
person?
the summertime. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Big mountains person too. So
Big
like,
mountain person?
Yeah, like I don't know.
Like,
I
from the
like-
mountaintops
I like
to the
hiking.
beach side, you know,
Exactly.
we're doing it all.
Yeah,
You know.
the outdoors.
Meanwhile, I'm staying inside all summer long, wearing these jeans and
playing
this
video
hoodie,
games
That
with
is
and
Lucas
crazy.
sitting
until
down. That is crazy. That is crazy.
1 in
but
the morning.
That's probably also true. Listen, I love being up at night. There's nothing better than being up at night. I think it's just that I'm by myself, and no one. It sounds so mean. It's like no one can bother me, but that's not even what it is. Because like,
Amanda barges in the room.
Okay,
Yeah.
but that's why
Yeah.
that's why I'm a morning person, because then it's like literally no one else in the world is awake, and you're like, it's just like you.
I feel like
No.
it's different at night.
it is different at
It's
night.
just
Oh,
different.
okay.
It's just-
well,
it's just-
well, just
maybe it's a-
complete
maybe it's
dark and
opposites,
gloomy.
but
It's-
okay.
what'd you say?
I said it's dark and gloomy.
It's darking. It's cool at night.
Bringing out your emo
It's
era.
vibey in the morning, but it's cool at night.
He's out saving the cities.
Yeah.
That's what it
Yeah.
is.
Batman
That's what it is.
coming
I just
alive.
like feeling like a superhero at nighttime. That's
Yeah.
what it is. You know, nobody feels like a superhero at
running around
7
his
a.m.
house
You
with
know
like
what I
a-
mean? Like,
He's running around this house with like a cape.
yeah,
as a
just
blanket.
sitting on the couch watching TV with a cape on. just
The Batman symbol
Yeah,
comes out
the-
once it reaches midnight.
Speaking of which, I feel like we need some like
He
I
said-
said speaking of which, and it says something completely different. Listen, you guys are gonna get a lot of this. All right, this is I feel like this is a good part about the podcast is people get the part of me that is like way less scripted, so you get a real look into my chaotic mind. All right,
Yeah.
so
The fact that he
thank
moves
you.
forward and backward.
Yeah, I'm not sitting still the whole time we're here. But you said bat signal, which made me think lights, which made me think like listen, Nick is like, don't know where you're going with this. I feel like we need like the walls are so plain. I feel like we need like wall art.
Agreed.
Put a whole bunch of
Yeah.
midweek stuff
We
on.
need like some. We need like
Hey,
some shelf
any
plants.
artist
The worship
out there?
team is gonna be like, why
Yeah.
does the green room have a bunch of like student stuff all over the wall every single week and growing? Eventually, this is just gonna not even be the green room anymore.
This
We're in the
is-
green room, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew this. We're in the worship team's green room.
like,
so
"That
Briggs is
exists?"
taking it over for.
yeah, so we are. I was gonna
Leaking
say
all the-
confiscating, but commandeering. I don't know if that's the right
Big
word
words. Mm-hmm.
Big words.
Yep.
That start with C's.
Yep.
I don't even.
Know what
I didn't even
confiscating
know that
means?
was a word.
Commandeering is a new one.
Commandeering, like police, they commandeer a vehicle,
Oh,
like in a
okay.
police chase, like in
I went to a
movies, because it
public
never
school.
actually happens in
Okay.
real life. So do
'Cause it
I. I went to
never
the same school
You
went
did go to
to.
the same school as me. So how you know that is a miracle? But
Well, it's because I'm a what? It's because I'm a good learner. I'm a terrible student. So
oh, okay.
I
That's
was
fair
an
enough.
awful
And
student.
here he is,
Fair enough.
student pastor.
And here I am. Yes.
Student pastor.
I'm here to tell you, you don't have to be a good student to make it.
how not to be like him.
That's right. That's what I'm here for. Is just to let everybody know what not to do. Yeah. I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
yeah. No, I was a bad student, and by bad student, I don't mean like I was getting in trouble. I just mean that I didn't try at all.
Oh, that's fair.
I was
That's
like
like
a-
most
you know,
people. I
yeah,
I was
feel
like a
gonna
C
say.
average student by the time I
Hey,
graduated.
C's get degrees.
That's
although
right.
I don't have C's, so that's
But you also don't
Way to
have
be an
degrees
overachiever.
yet.
yet.
So you wait.
So.
In college, those C's will get you some degrees, right?
Maybe that
Um,
only transfers for college. It's not like
That's
a high
right.
school.
It's a college thing,
thing.
yeah. Because me and Nick were actually talking about this a little bit ago. It's like teachers in high school. No offense to teachers in high school, who are like that's not gonna work in college. And then I'm in college and I was like, I don't think I showed up to my classes like at all. For like, there were certain classes that I did online that
were
I did
online.
all of the work for it was an 8-week course, and I did all of the work the last week of the course.
That's wild.
Don't do
That
that.
is
That's
wild.
bad advice. All right, don't take
Our
that
course
advice.
is next year 8
Um,
or 8 weeks.
the very same courses. Yep. the very
And
very
Nick's
same.
gonna be the one that does it the last week.
No, Nick. Here's the thing people don't realize about Nick. Nick is a. People don't realize Nick is a very regimented person.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Why-
I'll
You
just
got
start
very
crying.
emotional about that one. That was
Thanks.
very touching to him.
Thanks. Oh, you really Never heard that one.
You think-
Oh my gosh.
breaks down. But
That'd make it
no,
so awkward.
Nick's a way more regimented person than people give him credit for.
Thanks.
Yep.
So it's gonna be Dylan.
Yep.
That's who we have to watch out
That's
for.
right.
You
That's
know,
right.
make sure.
I'll
He's,
motivate you. to
Listen,
get
but
your
if I can
assignments
make
done.
it, you can make it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
that should be quoted.
Yeah.
We need that back here.
It's
If
just
I
what
can
I
Yeah,
make it,
first,
you
first
can make
wall
it.
art.
Yeah,
Pastor
first wall
Lucas.
art
It's
is,
gonna,
just,
it's
is
gonna
my
be a
quote.
sticky note.
Look, if I could do it,
That's a
anyone
quote.
can, right? You know, I mean, it's honestly true. But no, teachers in high school are like, that's not gonna work in college. You'll never get away with that in college. They're gonna be one more strict on you than that in college. And I feel like we just saw a TikTok of some girl, instead of taking her final exam, she danced for.
For 90 minutes.
I don't think it was for 90 minutes. I think it was the alternative was she could
Just to see if she had the
she
dedication.
could dance for 10 minutes or something like that, like do a choreographed dance routine, and it got her out of having to do her final.
I would so.
Would you
would-
do that?
I
There
would
was-
so
I
do
never
that.
would.
Well,
I would never.
The
There-
test would
I'd
stress
take
me
the-
out
no, I'd
too
take the 90-minute
much, and
test.
I would just be like, you know what? I'm gonna go in there and blank anyways. I actually used to do dance when I was like 6.
Okay.
Might as well
ADCD
pull back
ED.
out them skills.
What did you say?
ADCD
A,
That's
D,
the-
C, D, E, D?
That's the way that you go for, well, the way that I go on tests. Like if I'm just lost
Oh,
And they're all
EDCD?
multiple. on the
You have a guessing
test, I just go in that order. You ever take a multiple choice question?
A, B, C, D or A, D, C, D?
ADCD.
So you never hit B.
No.
Not a B?
He's like, whoa, stay away from B. On
What
on
about
multiple
A?
choice,
There's no-
it's
there's
never.
no
There
A.
is
He's like-
there is a.
There is A? Where does A come in
A
that
starts.
A starts.
line?
A, D,
Oh,
C,
A,
D.
D, C. No.
I feel like
Don't-
that's.
B is just left out.
I wouldn't say
B's-
try it,
B's
but-
slow.
Have your scores come out. This
You want to see
year.
my grades?
No,
Okay.
and if you want to show us
That's
your
fine.
grades, by the time look,
No,
by the
it's
time
fine.
this comes out, you'll be out of school anyways.
Yeah.
So you'll probably be graduated, right?
Yeah.
Should be.
Look, so it
Okay.
won't hurt.
So then, yeah.
Oh, oh,
Do
okay.
you want to show us your grades?
Sure.
This is up to you. I'm not asking you. You volunteered this information.
Grades are.
Oh, jeez.
I have in advanced world literature. I have a 95.80, and then in
0.80.
pre-calc,
Mhm.
I have 85.6.
So those ADCDs.
Those
They
are the ACD eight. We'll just rewind that one.
We'll fix it in
And-
post. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dylan, can you?
It's
Can
not
you
getting
really, like,
fixed. It's not
confirm
getting
that?
fixed. I can
It's
tell you
not.
something. There's a lot of times in this I say we'll fix it later. and
Never does.
you'll see
Well-
me saying that line right there and hearing you stutter on the thing. So happens.
So it's not getting fixed later. Is what we're being
No,
told.
but we can be
Okay.
hopeful.
Yeah.
We can be hopeful. Pay you a
It is
little bit
what-
extra.
Look, it is. Also, it is what it is never something anybody has ever said.
Yes.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
Like,
no, that's true.
nobody's ever been like won the lottery.
It is.
It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like it's always after
No, it's
like,
always like-
your car gets totaled because like a chipmunk fell off a tree and like broke your windshield, and you're like, that is what it is. You know what I mean? Like that's always
Got a
what
flat tire today.
Yeah.
Well,
It is what it
is.
That's our
Yeah.
next quote.
Yeah,
It is
that's
what
the
it
next one.
is.
We're just gonna get just like how around the campus we have things put on the wall. We're
Mhm.
gonna put random quotes on the wall
We should do a tour
Even just like
for
sticky
midweek.
notes.
that don't
like,
make
it's
sense.
fine.
Yeah, it is what it
I
is.
don't-
Yeah,
It is what it is.
with the I don't know emoji.
Wait, so Nick, you take
either that
you-
or it's not gonna fly in college.
That's a fair one too. You take math and English like now.
Yeah.
So like, what was your first semester like?
Like my grades.
No, I'm talking about like your
Or-
classes.
It was I took those like math and English all year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we like do school differently. Because ours is split up into semesters.
That was my humble flex of being like, oh, so I'm smarter than you. No, I'm just kidding.
We split up. So my first semester was math and psychology and sociology. And now this one I literally have English and I'm a teacher's assistant from gym. So I basically do nothing
how it
this
be
semester.
sometimes.
But
Are you taking college classes? I mean, you are.
yeah, I'm taking
So that's why it's different.
3.
That's
Yeah.
why it's different.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure Lake Forest is different. Do they have block scheduling?
Yeah.
Do you know what that is?
We only have 4 blocks though.
Okay. So
Why are you looking at me like I'm like
I was just wondering.
okay. Well, yes, we have blocks, and I go in first, second. Block.
If y'all know what they're talking about, you let me know. I don't understand any of this. I wouldn't
So,
listen.
with
I'm
Then
my
so
how
old.
was it
school-
like when
I'm
you
so
were in
old.
school?
When I was in
'Cause
school,
we went to
had
the same school.
we did go to the same school. We had now unless they just call it something different, we had like A and B days.
Yeah, they literally stopped that the year before I went into
really?
high school.
Sick.
So
That's
yeah,
how
my
old I am. Is they had
sister-
enough time to run the play for my whole entire time in school, do it for 6 years after that, and then stop right when you guys got there. So
No, literally, my sister had to do it her first 2 years of high school, and then once I was a freshman. Actually, when I was a freshman, I took all online because of COVID. But sophomore year, that's how it was. It was split up into semesters instead of like AB.
How about
learned
your
it.
schedules?
y'all
How was
y'all
Dover?
lived through.
How was Dover?
Oh.
Oh,
Wow.
goodness.
That's
Wow, what
crazy.
a great
Goodness.
friend, Nick. You
I
just-
meant.
Hey,
I
no,
meant.
I know
went
Dylan
to
doesn't have a
school.
microphone
Oh,
for
man.
this. Nick's like, "What about you, Dylan? How was it in Dover?" And he said, "I didn't go to Dover." Nick's like, "Good,
I
good."
meant. Not no. That's a middle school.
That is a middle school. So
Where did you? I know it starts
So
with a P.
no one knows where Dylan went
No,
to high
it's-
school,
it's-
actually.
it's
So
he went to
Poly.
he went to
Polytech.
Polytech.
Shout
So
out to all our Polytech.
Polytech
students
has
out there.
block scheduling. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm not that old.
Birthday's coming up. May
Birthday's coming.
21st.
That's right. That's good.
Oh my goodness, our birthdays.
That's
are
how you know
almost like
Nick's
a
not my
month
best friend
apart.
because he remembers my birthday.
That's kind of funny.
we had a
When's my
conversation.
birthday?
We had a conversation. Huh?
When's my birthday?
No clue. June 5th. Nope. Am I close?
Yeah.
I am close.
Wait,
okay.
isn't it? Wait,
See.
I think I know it.
All right. Guess it.
I'm
Because it's-
16 more
Maya, I'm
days
gonna tell you
older
this.
than
I have
you.
no idea when yours
I
is.
think it's
so-
like wait, is it like
Hers is in June, I think.
yeah, mine's also in June.
June
Okay.
16th?
No,
17th?
I just said mine was
June
literally a
22nd.
month from
19th?
Pastor Lucas's. No, it's June 22nd, but it's almost a month. So what?
Lake did you wrong.
It's
as
almost like a
well.
month.
Well, actually, there's
Okay, it's like a
31
month
days
and a day,
in
but-
May. So technically,
All right. Well, we're not technically speaking. We're untechnically speaking.
Actually,
Wait, but back to
Actually-
Nick's. Nick's birthday is like June. Is it 8th?
nope.
It's
it's before. It's before, right?
4th.
Is it the 3rd?
Nope. Nope.
2nd?
Nope.
It's not June 1st.
It is this-
It is June
It
1st.
is June
June
1st.
1st.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
I
Is June
graduate.
5th your graduation day?
No, June 1st is. I graduate on my birthday.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I graduate May
Pretty-
31st.
I forgot that.
For
so.
sure.
But
You graduate on a Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We
The
always
schools
have.
try and graduate on different days so that if you have family or friends,
Oh.
like if you have a sibling who goes to Poly, but you go to Lake or you go to Smyrna or wherever, then your parents aren't having to be like, whose graduation we go to,
Yeah.
which
Or
kids are
like if you have
favorite.
like
They
a
just split
sibling
up.
at
Yeah.
Poly and like a sibling at Lake, then it kind of makes it. But
It
Lake's has
it
always been
was.
on a
It
Friday.
was on a Friday.
hmm
I don't know how I remember
But
that from last
they'll
year.
stagger them like that, like different days in the weekend,
Mhm.
different nights and different times and things like that, so that you can make it to multiple ones.
Or you could graduate in the summer, because if people fail, they could graduate in the summer,
Well,
which is
no one's a
probably whack.
failure unless you are.
Well,
What a
what?
what a
Quote that one.
quote.
Quote that one.
You know what? Let's
name
put,
of name
Yeah.
of this episode.
Yeah.
Name of this episode.
No one's.
No one's a
How did
failure.
it go? That was harsh.
Wait, I don't even remember.
No one's a
No,
No
failure
one's a
unless they
failure
are.
unless you are.
Okay.
But
You heard it here first. If you're a failure, Miles calling you a loser.
What?
I never said a loser.
Loser
okay?
never came out of her mouth.
Loser never exited. Failure exited. But redemption is possible. So
That's
why
good.
summer school is a thing.
I think I've told this story before. I was so close to failing my senior year
Oh.
only because of my attendance.
What?
You reminded me when you said summer school. I almost had to, after I graduated, sit in. Well, not after. It would have been before. I almost had to go to school and just sit around. Like I had been done with all my classes, done with all my work, done with all my stuff. But
For like time purposes?
I was late. I think every single day of my senior year.
That's wild.
Every day?
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even walk to homeroom. I'd walk right to the office to get a tardy slip.
That's
How do you do
crazy.
that?
I just didn't care, and so I would just. This is why I say I was a bad student. Not because I was like causing trouble. Like I never got written up ever in all 12 years of going.
So
to
you
school.
you got a lot of truancy letters.
I got no. I got one truancy letter, but it was because it wasn't like I just skipped school or anything. I would just show up in the middle of homeroom. Like I'd just show up in the middle of announcements every morning, just because I was like, I don't care. So I just leave my house, 5 minutes late, and I'd be like, oops, and that was it. And so I would just
So like a preventable cause, but like
100%. I could have just woke up 5 minutes earlier that morning. I'd be fine. But you know how like if it's one of those things where like if you miss that first bell, then you're technically late.
yeah.
You can't just show up to class because whatever. Like
Oh, that's what I do.
it-
If I'm late,
well,
I
my
just
teacher
show up
would
to
my
class.
homeroom teacher would send me to the office every day. So
Did you
Um,
actually like go to homeroom like every morning, or
yeah,
did you
I
just
just
go
show up
into
late
your...
to homeroom. I'd show up after the announce. It was like I would just show up late, like in the middle of the announcements or after the announcements, but like before the first period bell rang to go like to leave homeroom. So I was literally
We don't leave homeroom anymore. You could just go
your
to your
homeroom
first
is
block
just your
class.
first class.
Yeah.
Oh no, we had homeroom, and you would just hang out in homeroom for like 20 minutes in the morning for no reason.
We do have a
and-
homeroom, but we literally go there like the first day of school, and we never go back to that place.
Oh,
So I
that's
don't know
nice.
why it's a thing.
Nice.
Well, man,
but-
I would have passed school. I would have
Yeah.
never had to deal with this problem if
Yeah.
that were if that was a thing when I was there, but it wasn't. So I would show up like 5 minutes after like that first like homeroom bell where it's like if you miss this bell you're late. And so then I just I just knew like after 7:08 or whatever it was that I was late. So I'd show up at like 7:10.
Yeah, when does your school start?
I don't know. I
Now
don't
it
remember.
Now it starts at 7:35.
When does it get out?
2:30.
We got out at 2:22. We started I think it was
2:22.
2:22.
Lake has such
That's
weird like
so
time.
But here's the thing
Weird.
though, you'll never forget it.
222?
That's true.
Cuz you'll never be like
Because I leave first block at 9:07.
Like,
Like I know that. I,
colleges do
always
that like
remember that.
DSU
I know,
DSU's campus or at least they used to they would do stuff where your classes start at like 7:38 or 7:37 or at 7:52 or something like that, and that's how like the bus schedules also ran for the longest time. I don't know if they still do that now. Are they on even times now? Oh, before COVID when
Okay,
we were
well,
when
Dylan's
we were
now
out there
saying
doing
that they're all
stuff.
even, so
But
just so you know.
but so that's not how it is anymore. But before COVID,
Poor
like when
guy.
we would go out there for like college stuff and young adult stuff, we would go out there and all their bus schedules ran like that and stuff because it's not like, oh well, is it 8 or is it 9 or is it 8:30 or is it 8. You know, like it wasn't any of that like thing where it's like you get confused. It was like
it's
no, it was
8:37.
7:52. You
That's
you know what I mean?
crazy.
Like kind of hard to forget 7:52. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
those kinds of things. So I get it. Doesn't make it. I
Yeah.
think it still doesn't really make sense, but I understand why. But no, so my homeroom would start, but I would go down to the principal's office every day, and or principal's office, but like the front office, and just every day I just wait in line with everybody, and just it became like a joke, you know, and like your tardy slip, it's like, why are you late today? And I'd be like, put the wrong blue shirt on or whatever, and just like bring it to homeroom, and just like it became just like a joke of
It's like I put 2 left shoes on.
yeah, or just like
Can't
put on,
make
you
it.
know, you'd people put wild stuff down on like their tardy slip, but like, you know, it's like it just became a joke, and I'd show up like every day, maybe not every day, but that's an exaggeration, but like every other day, you know, I'd just show up late by like 2
Wild.
minutes because I would just wouldn't be there in time for that
My
first
parents
homeroom
would
bell.
like actually whoop me if I
So-
did that.
So like in March, I got or maybe it wasn't, maybe it was closer, like April. I got a thing that was like, if you are, because I didn't really miss school, I just show up late, but a tardy counted for like 1/8 of a day or whatever, like 10% of a day, but they all stacked up to
Mhm.
where overall with how many tardies I got after so many tardies, 5 or 7, it counts as like a day of school like a full absence. So I was tardy so many times that it added up, and they were like, if you miss like 2 more days of school, you will be, or like 1 more day of school, you will have to make up that time before you graduate. Like after you're done with school, but before you graduate.
That's wild.
And so I ended up having to like really make sure I was showing up on time, because towards the end, like it got to the point where it was like, if I was tardy 3 more times before the end of the year, I would have to show up to school and just sit around like just to make up out, because you have to have a certain amount of hours in school to
Mhm.
graduate.
Did you have to do schoolwork or would it just be
No, I
you?
literally would have just had to be on. I probably would have just sat in detention.
That's crazy.
I never had detention. I never had to do it because I showed up the rest of the year, like on time, early, whatever. But
Gotta
I
show
don't-
up 2 minutes early this time.
yeah,
Make sure they.
yeah, it
Actually,
reverses it.
So my house is like 2 minutes away from the school, so I literally usually leave like when doors open.
well,
Like,
that's obnoxious. You know what I
and
mean?
like
But
and like everyone's like, "Oh, you're like late," and I'm like, "No, I still got 10 minutes to walk in the building."
I went
But
to
I leave my house at like 7:20. Doors open at 7:20, and so and everyone's like, "I had to leave at like 7 o'clock to get to school this morning." And I'm like, "Yeah, I leave when it's
like,
when
that's
doors
yeah,
Our
like,
open."
wow,
doors
that
are
sounds
always
rough.
open.
You're like, I slept in, so
Yeah.
My school's not safe.
I went to North Elementary when I was a kid,
Yeah, that's
and
where I went
and
to.
I knew a kid. I knew the kid who at the time he lived across the street. So
Oh,
so the
he was
cross.
late every time.
Yeah.
I don't think it was possible for him to be late. He lived 35 steps from the front door of the school. I
Nice.
don't
Yeah.
know if it's possible to be late.
There was a
But-
kid. There was a kid when I went to North that did that too.
Yeah.
His name was like Jacob or something. I can't remember
Yeah.
his name, but he would like walk literally to school every day. We would,
What's
like,
so
walk
funny
him.
about it? His name is Jacob.
No, I went like this.
Why
Sorry.
sketch?
Yeah.
His
I
name
don't
was
know.
Jacob.
What,
I
Oh,
don't know.
like
No.
what?
I
But
don't know. I was
um,
just like,
you just thought about it.
yeah.
Yeah, just got you.
What's
The
up,
kid who
brother?
lived across the street, his name was Calvin. So, but he was
Well,
Anyway.
then that family moved.
yeah,
Happens.
it does happen. So, but yeah, what are y'all doing? What are you doing? I don't know how
Yeah, I
now,
literally just thought about
you ever
that.
think
I was
about,
like, we never
how
went
did-
over what I'm doing over the summer.
Nick's like, I never got to talk about my plans.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any plans.
Well,
He's
I
like,
don't have any, so
So what I'll be doing is I work at Crumble. Stop by. Actually don't. And
okay.
then and then I'm going to Jamaica again this year. And is that usually?
I'm going to
is that
Jamaica
in
this year.
August 5th.
We're taking a missions trip this year. We try and take a mission
yeah.
trip at the end of every summer. We go to Jamaica to St. Mary's Parish. Are you going this year?
No, I went last year, but literally this year I can't go, and now everyone's going,
That cruise.
and it's
PK's
like,
going.
PK is going.
Yeah.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
think Sherry's going too.
I
Like
think so.
everyone's
Don't know
going. I'm like,
names.
wow, it couldn't have been last year.
Yeah, that's all right. There'll
It
be
could have been the summer that I couldn't go.
There will be more years.
Happens.
We'll all get on a trip one of
That's
these
true.
years. Now, camp's coming up. Are you going to be a counselor, or are you going to take this to be your last year as a student? Because when you're a senior, I mean,
You have the
technically,
choice.
yeah, you have the choice. Just like when you're in 8th grade, you can like Do I want to be in the middle school cabin or do I want to be in the high school cabin? I don't know that I've ever met an 8th grader going into 9th grade who's like, I want to be in the middle school cabin. Hey, maybe you're different. All right. If you're a middle schooler going into high school and you're
You're
like,
different.
I actually wouldn't mind being in the middle school cabin because the high schoolers are jerks. You know, maybe that's you.
Fair enough.
Let me know because that's a fair point.
So I'm being a counselor this year. So all my middle school girls, whoop whoop.
Woot woot.
Woot
What?
Woot
No.
woot.
woot woot.
Woot woot.
What about you, Nick? Are you gonna?
I'm
be
being a student.
last year's a student.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
Party hardy.
Party hardy. I'm gonna get so annoyed with you this year. You're gonna be so obnoxious because your last year as a student.
Oh, 100%.
He definitely
yeah.
will be.
100%.
Definitely will be.
I'm
It's the only
gonna
way that-
send him home on the first night. I'm gonna kick him out of camp.
You're probably gonna slam me on my head again.
Yeah.
Go ahead and share that to the
Okay.
public.
Okay, but
Okay.
this
Go ahead and
saves me from wakey wakey this year, okay? Because
It
you
does.
We're
don't
not
do
doing it.
counselors.
We're not
don't
doing
you?
wakey wakey this year. Oh, so if you know camp, we're not doing. Ooh, spoiled. Oh, but I guess you gotta listen to this podcast to hear it here first. Oops.
Oops.
So
We're tea is being spilled. In this podcast.
tea is being spilled on this podcast. But wakey wakey for those of you that haven't gone to camp, wakey wakey is
So I just had to be in the last year of it.
You did,
Just,
yeah.
you just.
Oh,
wow,
dude.
that
we,
was
we
terrible.
rewatched that this past Sunday, and you were in it. Wild.
Stop.
On a whole
Let's
nother-
not talk
Whole
about
nother
it.
planet.
Let's not talk.
the best part about. Okay, so what wakey wakey is for those who don't know, or maybe
it was like this.
or maybe you were.
Stop,
why are you?
stop.
Why are you
I'm
being
sorry.
mean?
I'm
You
sorry.
are being mean.
Listen, we're waking people up at 3:30 in the morning. How?
I'm just
listen. I'm gonna
How
be
did you
surprised.
I'm trying to
expect
paint.
me to wake
I'm trying
up,
to paint
Nick?
the picture for them. That's all.
Okay,
You just
so,
wake up.
The
You're like,
picture doesn't need to be painted.
sorry. It's painted.
but it was. So,
It was.
So wakey wakey for those who don't know what wakey wakey is it's a I'm gonna say game show. It's not a game show. Like
Could be.
welcome
I mean, but,
back
like-
to Wakey Wakey. Like the music, the Family Feud music starts playing. But some people are like, what's Family Feud?
Yeah.
But no, we'll wake people up at like 3:30 in the morning, and it's just like we'll just mess with them or give them
Like they'll
random
ask
trivia.
you questions that you're like dead asleep, so like you like don't know, or you
Oh,
like
it's so
you're, like,
fun.
not
even
there,
that.
you're, like,
you just wake up
dreaming.
and there's a whole
Incoherent.
bunch of lights and cameras
Yeah.
in your face.
There are
So
a
let
lot
me
of
tell
lights
you
and
about
cameras in
my
your face.
experience, guys. So it was
This
the
is
night
good.
night after the silent disco. All right, my hair was in braids. It was sweaty. Everyone was taking a shower, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to bed. I'll shower in the morning. Nick's currently dying.
We'll fix it at first.
Yeah, we'll fix it. We'll fix it.
Holy cow.
Everyone's taking a shower. I'll take it in the morning. Went to bed, took out my braids because they were messing with my hair. Woke up at like 3 in the morning to some girl that knows my sister, but I didn't know her. Okay. She wakes me up and is like, "Hey, your sister Sierra,
Went on life support.
she's coming to get you. It's time to go home." And like, mind you, like I don't wake up quickly. I need like a good like 30 minutes to actually be
wild.
like here.
Give me like 5 minutes and I'm up.
It's crazy.
That is
Anyways.
okay. And so I literally like started to get out of bed, but mind you, my hair was in braids, so I literally looked like I was like a lion getting out of bed. It was so bad. It was so bad, and I sounded.
you believed her for
and
a
I,
minute.
I did believe her.
She
but I
started
sounded
getting out.
so dumb.
She had to turn around and tell her like, no, it's a joke. Go back to bed.
Yeah, she had to like tell me
She's
that like
about to
5
start
times
packing
because I
up.
was literally about to like
She's
get
about, "Let's
up
do
and
this."
like grab my stuff. Anyways.
She thought she went to bed on Thursday night, woke up on Saturday. She thought she slept through all of Friday. She's like, camp's
And it's
over
funny
already.
because Brienne saw me the next morning and like literally every single time she saw me could not stop laughing. And I like was like, I know she's putting it in. I know she's putting it in. That's gonna be so embarrassing.
All right, we're back. Cameras died right in the middle of my funny story. Just kidding. No, but to go with wakey wakey, like, or waking people up out of a dead sleep, right? So it's like some of the reactions you get from people. Like we had a kid who was like, we tried to ask him a question. He was like, "What do you want, man?" He didn't even open his eyes, and we were like, "Bro, just got a question for you." And like Pastor Parker kept trying to get like fit checks from people. He'd be like, "Yo, what you think of the fit?" And they wouldn't even look up at him. He'd be like, "No, okay," and just like
Well, he came up to me. He was like, "Yo, you want a shadow box?" I was like, "What?"
he would
was
go
like,
to people. He'd be like,
he'd literally just be like,
"I win,"
and he'd just be like, "KO," and then walk out.
He'd leave.
I'm just like, "What?"
It's like,
I'm telling you, but you just have to watch these videos because they're so funny.
crazy.
Some of these kids are just like hilarious.
but it's like it's so we're already not getting enough sleep at camp. honestly. So
you
but
didn't. This
I
past
I
year,
got no sleep.
you got
I lost
like
my voice the
3.
second night of camp because I just was so.
Yeah, you sounded like a little girl that like.
Thank
just
you.
was gone.
All right, listen. I'm just gonna let you know you're digging into a part of my life that I'm not happy about
You
because
kidding me? He used to
it's
call
like-
pizza places when he was 18 to order pizza, and they used to tell him to hand the phone to his mom.
That's not true, but I would go. There are times where, like, okay, so I worked at Chick-fil-A. All right, I'm gonna get through. Hang on, I'm gonna get through this story first about Wakey Wakey, but we'll hit this dude. And I was like, and he was like, "Yo, what's up?" It, like, startled him awake. And I was like, "Bro, I just got a question for you. He was like, "What's up?" I said, "Who would win in a fight, Abraham Lincoln or George Washington?" He goes, "You know it's George Washington, man." I said, "Bro, I know that's right." He said, "See, that's what I'm telling you." And then like dapped me up and went right back, like just. I mean, just
like
fell
literally
back
rolled
asleep. It was like, like gone again. I was like, all right, that was hilarious. That's my favorite memory of doing Wakey Wakey was how fast
That's
he woke
crazy.
up, how certain he was. Like he came out of his sleep ready for this conversation, 100% ready for this conversation.
Almost like he knew that you were gonna ask him this question.
He was prepared for it.
That's what he was dreaming of. You kidding me?
Yeah, he was dreaming about
Woke
this
him up
Abraham
right at the
Lincoln
KO.
George Washington boxing match. And then he fell back asleep immediately. Made me laugh. So I got out of that room. That's one of those ones where it's like I can't die laughing in the room because I'm gonna wake everybody up. But we got out of the cabin. I was like, we're done. That's all we need. But yeah, so we're not doing Wakey Wakey anymore. But going back to this whole thing, so I have learned in students that students will find the thing you don't like about you and call it out of you. And
my bad. Didn't mean
it's
it.
okay. It's okay.
So
Just bringing up the little
Jeez.
T trauma in my life. All good. But no, I used to work at Chick-fil-A and I would always work on the headset and people always called me ma'am on the headset. And so I'd just be like,
Oh no.
I'd be on the headset and and you get your customer service voice on, right? And I know I already don't have like the deepest voice or whatever out of anybody, but like,
Just walk up
I'd
and be
be
like,
I'd just be
"How can
talking
I
to
take your order?"
yeah, yeah, exactly. But I'd be like talking and they'd be like, "No, ma'am." And I'm like, let me take this headset. I'm done. I'm clocking
I
out. I'm going
quit.
home. I quit. So traumatizing experience in my life. But
Happens.
yeah, it does happen.
It
It is what it is, right? Cool. Yeah. So we got there somehow from what you're doing this summer.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
So you guys are 2 weeks from being done.
Yep.
What if you were to go back and do it again? Nick's like, please
No.
don't. Please don't. He's like, I don't want to do it again.
I don't
wanna do
either.
it.
But you guys are at the end, and there's a lot of students that are maybe starting school or are in the middle of high school, in the middle of whatever. Do you get like just being like a Christian, a Christ follower in your school? What is it? How's the experience these days of just like following Jesus in school with everyone else around? Fun
Well,
stories or just
I know
things you learned about how to follow Jesus well in school or whatever.
it's very challenging because I know we both go to a public school, so like a
Public
lot of
schools be
times like
wild.
you can't force that like on people.
Mhm.
So it's hard to get like groups started and like all this stuff. But what I found is that you really just like find your people, and like most of them I've honestly found through United. Like I found like Mia Cristaldi, like she goes here and I've gotten really close to her. But like you find your friends and you find your people and you find your community like outside of school. And what has worked for me is I lean on the people like outside of my outside in like my community of my like church family and stuff like that, and then I help that, like I use that to go like into my schools and like talk to people who don't know him about things like that, or I wear United clothing, or I wear like Jesus clothing so that people know that I'm like, I've even gotten like people say to me like when we were doing this like one research paper about like I don't know, it was some like religion thing. Like people would actually come up to me and like ask me questions, and I actually thought that was like kind of cool that like people like knew like, oh, I probably know the answer to that. So it's like people could then get to know you and know like then like what to say around you and stuff like that.
You're
and,
not
like,
a crazy person.
yeah,
You're not.
Yeah, yeah. Like they'll like
Like, do you just get like crazy people? Not crazy people, but people who are just like totally off the other side of the
oh yeah,
the thing. Who
oh yeah. Oh yeah,
Most of
especially
them?
on my track team, most of them. But like, they kind of then like, I don't know. Becoming friends with them is kind of like a fine line because you have to have like boundaries. And you got to understand like they can't pour into your life, but like it's good to be pouring into them. So it's like finding that boundary of like, what am I gonna let them talk and like say around me and like talk to me and stuff like that. But then what am I gonna say to them and how am I gonna respond to them is kind of what high school's like been about.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
There's a whole bunch of idiots in my school.
Okay.
Shout out to CR.
Okay,
that's not very-
I don't even know where we go from that. Like,
no.
it's like we'll be right back. It's like boo, doo, doo, boo, and then it's like the little like.
It shows. No, we should just put the
Time out.
SpongeBob thing.
Just like the little like lines, like the little boo.
Oh,
like the little colorful lines.
when you
Look, we'll fix it in post. And then yeah, you've had some interesting people, right?
yeah. My experience.
Okay, do you guys both feel like high school challenges you guys?
Oh, yeah.
To, like,
Most definitely.
I have to like prepare myself before I
Every
go into high
day.
school.
Uh-huh.
Before I
You
walk
like
through the
you
doors.
see things and you hear things that you're just like, never in my life like have I ever wanted to see or hear those things. Like
Diabolical.
yeah.
diabolical.
You're just like,
Diabolical.
why is this happening?
It's not even that. It's like some people just don't have boundaries for themselves, and they overshare.
Yeah, and you're
It's
like,
just like,
I
hey,
didn't want to know
no.
that. But thanks anyway, I guess. It's
Yeah.
kind of like one of those things.
So it made me think of it because you were talking about, you're like, I'll wear United stuff. I'll wear like, my like Jesus shirts and stuff like that. Like, people just to like, hey, I'm not ashamed of what I believe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm willing to have a conversation about it. I'm not, and I'll show you I'm a normal person. I'm not a crazy person.
I
You know
got
what I
a
mean? Like,
story after that.
but I know Nick has, I don't know if this is the same story. Maybe it's a different
might
story.
be.
It might be the same story. Nick was telling me the story. I'm going to let him tell it about how he got this hoodie and it just, he's laughing so hard. It just said, I'm going to let Nick tell the story, but the preface to this story is Nick just got a hoodie and it just says, Yeshua.
Yep.
That's all it said on it.
Mhm.
And it was just it looked almost like Essentials branding,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But just across the front, just one small letter.
It was like you ever go on like TikTok shop and it's like one of those like small brands just trying to, so that's like basically what it was. It was a small brand at the time. And I saw my friend buy it, so I was like, I'm gonna buy it. So I bought it and I wore it to school, and it says, I think, what was that, like Greek or like Hebrew or something?
It's like, it just says, I think look,
The
it's your
letter?
hoodie, not mine. I don't know what it looks like. So
I didn't do my
but,
research.
But yeah,
But there's like a
wow,
letter
that's
that-
your fault. Your fault. You ended up in this conversation.
Oops.
Honestly, oops.
Oops.
But no, it just said, I'm pretty sure it just said like Yeshua, and then in either like Greek or Hebrew,
Mhm.
it just said Yeshua below it. Like,
Yeah,
and that's all it was.
And then on the sleeve, it was just like name above all names. And here I am at lunch, and this guy, he was like,
He's got to readjust. 1 second.
He's got to
he-
prepare to tell this story.
I just don't want to describe him in like a rude way. He
That's good.
was an interesting kid, and he like went out of his way, and he was like, "Oh, like what does this mean?" So I told him, and I was like, I could make like a pretty good conversation out of it. Then it went completely south, and he was like, "You really went out of your way to buy that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then he was like,
I thought
and
it was
then-
pretty cool.
"Yeah." And he was like, "So you believe in like Jesus and stuff like that?" And I was like, "Yeah." Then he pulls out his phone. I could tell he was looking up something. And then he asked me, he goes, "What part of the Jerusalem tribe are you?" I said, "What?" He goes, "What part of the like 12 tribes are you from?" And I was like, "Earth?" Like what do you want me to say? Like like I come in peace. Like, and so I texted Pastor Lucas and I was like, "Hey, was this like something I wasn't aware of? Like, am I a part of a tribe?"
Was I misinformed? Was
Yeah.
I when I accepted Jesus as my Lord and
Yeah.
Savior? Was I supposed to pledge my allegiance to one of the
Yeah.
12 tribes along with
So I
it?
texted him. He was like, "No, that was like
like, I-
thousands of years ago." And I was like,
I was
"Okay,
like-
so this guy's just trying to make me sound like an idiot."
But
But
do you have stuff like that happen
was
to you?
interesting.
Now, I also
Um,
feel, to be fair, I also feel like guys in general are just more okay than girls
Mhm.
with just being mean to each
Mhm.
other, just in general. So
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've never had a situation like that before, but I have had like people feel the need to tell me things. Okay. Some things I don't want to know. And like I've had those situations that I have to be like, they kind of take me a moment to
Like,
like figure out
doof.
like what to say. And most of them are like my friends, like people that like I'm around because I play like sports with them and like stuff like that. So like that's the kind of thing I've had to like navigate through is like how do I still be friends with them, still be supportive, but still stay true to what I believe.
Yeah.
And it's like I have those situations a
Yeah.
lot.
And that's hard because like we live in a culture right now where it's like, if you don't agree with what I'm doing, then you must not care about me or you
Yeah.
must not support me. And it's like, hey, I can love you and accept you and not agree with everything, all the decisions that you're making in
Yeah.
life. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, but I think people just are so not used to being around, like we've been taught for so long that it's like you have to either love and support everything everybody does, or you don't. Like there's no middle ground. You know what I mean? It's like, hey,
Yeah.
I love you because you're a person and you deserve care and you deserve love and respect because everybody does. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like Jesus loved everybody.
Yeah.
Jesus loved people, but he always had it was like the whole thing of like you needed grace, but you also needed
Yeah.
truth. You know what I mean?
And it's like
Hey, I
also
love
one
you.
thing is
You're
like
you're a friend. You deserve love, and I accept you. You know what I mean? But and then there's like the truth
Yeah.
side of it of like, but there's a better way for you to be living your life. You know what I mean? And there's another part of it where it's like, if this person doesn't know Jesus at all, then it's kind of like there's certain things you don't need to preach to them because they don't care. Because if they don't know the Bible and if they
Yeah.
don't care, here's the thing: you could tell somebody, "Hey, this is what the Bible says," and if they go, "That's great, I don't believe in the Bible," then
Yeah.
then it really doesn't
yeah.
matter. It's like
Mhm.
it's void. Like it doesn't mean anything. So it's like you have to get to a point where it's like something separate from the Bible, and so it's like you showing other people instead of like just telling them every. You know what I mean? People, I think people already know and feel the weight of their decisions, and the last thing they need is somebody pointing out all the
Yeah.
guilt and shame and
Yeah.
whatever that they already probably
Yeah.
feel. You know what I mean?
What
So,
I've noticed a lot is that people do like feel the weight of their decisions. They just have gotten really good at hiding it and really good at like being like, oh no, like this is cool and like this is like yeah, and it's like no, but in the inside they feel it, but they just want to be portrayed as like a different
yeah.
way.
But I think that goes back to like the whole acceptance thing. I think everybody wants to be accepted, and that's why people find themselves in like these groups or identifying with, you know, this group of people or that group of people or this thing or that thing or this club, and like everybody wants to be accepted, and that's not a problem. Every
Yeah.
single person wants to be accepted, and that's a good thing. You know what I mean? But it's the whole thing of like that love is conditional. You know, that love has something behind it because the second you don't tell them, "Hey, I agree with everything you're saying," the love goes away with it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so it's like I think what makes us different, you know, as like followers of Jesus and as believers is like when we say like we love somebody, it doesn't have to be with a condition of
Yeah.
like, but you have to know Jesus. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I love you because you're a person who deserves love and care. You know what I mean? Like, now that also doesn't mean that I have to agree with everything you're doing. I can disagree with everything you're doing and still go, hey, but I still love you. I still care about you. Would I love to see you change your lifestyle and some of the things you're doing?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
so it's kind of like that give and take and figuring out how do I navigate that.
Yeah.
So
Because that is one thing. There's like one of my friends that I like that like it's like a constant like, hey, like what are you doing like this weekend? Are you going to church and stuff like that? And she's like, no. Or there's like things where you like constantly ask people, and it can get discouraging at times, but just like know that like one day that seed is gonna grow, and like having to like understand that you may not see it, but it's still probably gonna happen. You just kind of have to like wait and stuff like that. And how you're talking about like acceptance stuff too, like I know a lot of people in high school, it is like an acceptance thing, and like I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of things that I wasn't invited to in high school because of what I believed in, but they were all to protect me. And it's not like, I mean, yeah, in the moment I was upset, I was sad, but you gotta think of it more of a like in 4 years, none of this stuff is gonna matter, and like I'm gonna be making the right decision. So like, okay, I wasn't invited to that one thing, but it's not the end of the world, and I still get to hold on to like what I believe in and everything.
yeah.
So.
No, totally.
it's definitely
expressions.
harder to like share that, or I find it harder for myself to share like my beliefs and stuff like that because I feel like Christians are viewed as like very judgmental.
Hmm.
So I don't want to like tell this person this and then them like shade away from me because they think that
You're
I'm
like, well,
just
I believe in
gonna.
Jesus, and they're like, oh, you're one of those,
Yeah,
and it's like,
Mhm.
yeah.
but I think that's where it's like, and Pastor Chris has said this before. He's a pastor from Church of the Highlands, but he said like Christianity has a branding problem. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, too many like Christians and followers of Jesus before have been that way to other people,
Mhm.
that now that's what people associate with. You get this
Yeah.
idea in your mind of, it's like whenever people are like millennials, you know what I mean? Or even like now as like, I call myself like the elder Gen Z. You know what I mean? Like I'm the oldest of the Gen Z. Like I'm right on like the cusp. I'm like my all the Gen Z people, like students and people, like all you guys will look at me and be like, "Well, you're a millennial." And then all my millennial older siblings will look at me and be like, "Yeah, you're a Zoomer." And I'm like, "I guess I don't. I guess I just don't belong in either place." But I just refer to myself as like the elder Gen Z. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, people are like, "Do you know about this?" I was like, "I made that. Don't you dare disrespect." But
That's a lot.
but yeah, I don't remember what I was talking about. What was I talking about?
Like
I'm gonna get it.
Christian
Oh,
Christianity and
yeah. So it's
judgment.
like, thanks. See,
Yep.
this is why I need people around here. If it
We'll
were
fix
just,
that later.
yeah,
we'll
yeah,
fix
we'll
that
fix it in
later.
post. And and but no, like it gets so easy with like that it's like when people go those millennials or like Gen Z is like, oh, those boomers, you know what I mean? It's like you get this mindset of like, oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. And it's the same thing with like when people are like, oh, well, it's because he's a Christian, and you're like, oh, well, I know that. And so we get this idea of like, I know the type of person they're thinking. And so it's kind of
Mhm.
like, yeah, I know the type of person. And even like diffusing people of like, hey, I know the type of person you're thinking of too, and I don't like those Christians either, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and I feel like sometimes people be like, what do you mean? Like, that
Yeah.
you hit the factory reset button on everything they've ever thought. They're like, I don't get it. Explain that to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but that's how I was able to, like, when I was in high school, I was not popular at all by any stretch of the imagination, but I did play little league with the quarterback of our football team.
Nice.
You
And
got that. You got
I
that
did have
going for
that.
you.
But because of that, like I knew him like since we were like kids, and like towards the end of my time in high school, like I was able to get close with him and a lot of the guys on like our varsity football team. And I had no like influence in school, but I had influence on those two,
Mhm.
and those two had influence on a lot of stuff in school. Now I don't know where they ended up after. I don't know how they're living their life now, but I know they were trying really hard in high school to like live their lives better. And I was able to invite them out to what is now midweek. Back in the day was United for me. Pastor Kenneth was my student's pastor, but like I was able to invite them out to stuff like that just because I was like, look, man, here's how I grow.
Shout out to House Party.
Yeah, shout out to
R.I.P.
yeah, RIP to House Party and United Student Ministries is now United Church. Not really RIP, but like, glow up, honestly.
Yeah,
But
honestly, improving.
but anybody remember
I
Tribes?
do remember Tribes. I still have my shirt.
Were you ever a part of Tribes?
Yeah, I was on
Wow.
Yellow.
Were you
I
like
was
a
not
you
I
were
was
what
on
grade were
Lucas.
you in when
So-
Tribes happened? Tribes was like the first student thing we ever did, like as a church.
I have a picture from it.
You don't remember, but you were a student.
Nah, I was
so you had to have been like a
young.
sixth grader.
I was young.
Had to have been like a sixth
You
grader.
want to see a picture?
Huh? No.
I'll show you a picture.
You show me later. We'll we'll
Okay.
put it at the end of this. We'll
Okay.
have
Just
that'll-
post it up with like
that
calming
can be-
music. And you're like,
that can,
this is the
that can
picture
be
we're
that can
calling
be
about.
that can be the thumbnail to this episode
Oh,
is Nick's
no.
Tribes picture.
It's me and
Um,
Lucas.
Yeah, that'll be
It
great.
is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it
It
is.
is what it is with him and Lucas just in their yellow t-shirts. And he's like, that'd be terrible. It'd be tragic. But yeah. So, well, a few more weeks and then you guys are done.
Yeah.
So,
Yay.
but yeah, thanks for being on. We'll have to get you guys on again in the future. Some things we got coming up. I'm sure by the time this comes out, it will be before this happens, but after we announce it, is we have summer kickoff happening.
Oh yeah.
It's like midweek summer kickoff is going to be the first midweek in June. It's going to be the first midweek that all of the fifth graders will be attending as new students.
Yay.
And then all the seniors can stay until school starts back up in the fall. So
Yeah.
Unless you're us, and then you're always there.
and then you just always
Yeah.
It's a
around.
weird flex, but
You guys
okay.
gonna be you guys are gonna be hanging
What?
out, being leaders in the fall.
Yeah.
What?
I can't get rid of
Oh.
you guys, right? That's not happening, right?
I mean, unless you want to get rid of us.
I
I
don't.
mean, that's kind of your
No, I
okay.
don't.
Yeah,
okay,
unless
well
you
then
want-
we'll
unless you
be
want to.
here.
Not really.
Thought so.
I'd be lonely here without you guys. So
No podcast either.
yeah, no
We
podcast.
can't have
This
2-hour
doesn't- this can't
meetings
happen.
anymore.
Yeah, we'll just have the 2 hour. These will be the 2 hour meetings.
Yeah,
of
these
us
will
just talking
be.
on the podcast. But
Honestly, this is
um,
like one of our 2-hour meetings. So
it's true. We don't get anything done. That's not true. That's a joke, everybody. Okay, we get some things done sometimes here and there. Okay, but we have a blast doing it. But yeah, this has been great. This is the last time that we'll be hanging out with you guys as students.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, buddy.
isn't that fun? But yeah, so that's it for this week. That's all we got. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, on YouTube. Keep in touch with all the things we got going on, or else you're just gonna miss it. If you're on here
Definitely
first,
don't want to miss it.
you're the people who get that sneak peek that Wakey Wakey's not happening this year
Exactly.
at camp, and you may be the first ones to hear about summer kickoff. So it pays to hang out, pays to watch, and be involved. But
Get some cool info about the midweeks.
that's right. But that's all we got for this week. We'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.
So-